welcome back. I just did an entire outro and forgot to turn my mic on, so not outro, the other thing, intro. Wonderful. So, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that time lapse of me running around and dying lots. The advantage to keep inventory being on is I can use death as just a quick way to get home. Admittedly, lots of them weren't as deliberate as I'm going to make out, but, you know, it's progress. Quick update on the backpack, what we got going on. We got smelting upgrade and a crafting upgrade, do what they say on the tin. I also upgraded to gold. I'm currently working on making a stack upgrade, just a basic copper one, which allows me to store more things per slot, which is great. That's all I've got for the minute. That is not the focus of today's episode. Today's episode focus is going to be food, because I keep running out of it, as you may or may not have noticed in the time lapse. So we have plenty of options for food. Is this going to work? Yes. We have got plenty of options for food. You can peruse the selection, but my sort of go-to starter is going to be bread, because not only is it relatively easy to get hold of, I can also use it with you guys to explain plenty of create mod functions from the get-go, so rather than having to sort of just picture what's going on with our really haphazard workshop here, you can actually see how things work. So we're going to be making bread. So the first thing we need is wheat. Now, many ways of getting wheat. You can get it from the hay bales. I could just go and steal a bunch of it from the village over there, actually. But we want this to be completely automatic. So the first thing we're going to need is an awful lot of seeds. So all I'm going to do is just use Ultimine to break blades of grass and get a butt ton of seeds. And while I do that, I'm going to explain what we're going to be doing slightly. So, you're probably at least vaguely aware of the create mod up until this point if you're here, but if you don't know, in create we have these things called harvesters, and they do exactly what they say on the tin. They harvest. So with the usage of the aforementioned harvesters, I think a stack of seeds should do, we are going to make a thing that spins and automatically harvests all this good wheat, automatically replants all the crops, and then from there we'll have it automatically turn into bread. So let's get cracking. The first thing we're going to need is a I keep forgetting, windmill bearing. One of these fellas. Now, that's fairly simple to make. You do have these things called windmill sails. Both the sails and the frames do exactly the same thing, they just look different. You don't actually need them. I am going to be using, if I can find them, wool blocks, because I have some shears and there are a bounteous quantity of sheep around here. So you can just use wool blocks, but you can also use those if you want to. So anyway, first things first, windmill bearing. Do I have the stuff for it? No, I need a slab. That's okay, I can make a slab. So, slab and windmill bearing. Windmill bearing are great because, as you may be able to tell from the term bearing, they spin. Now, you can use a mechanical bearing, if I can find it. That thing. But mechanical bearings have to be powered, whereas a windmill bearing, provided you put some wool on it, will just spin on its own, which is great. So, we want a windmill bearing down, and we want to inset it into the floor, and we want a bit of space to the side of it, just so that we can access the thing. We are going to want 8 harvesters, is what we're going to want. Harvesters, there we go. Harvesters, which means we're going to need 16 pieces of iron, and I have 9. That's not good. Might have to be a bit smaller to start off with then. I was hoping I could do it an 8 ring, because then it will match up on both sides, but it will be a bit smaller to start. Well, I'm running out of food again. Crying out loud. Let's hope we get an apple. Yay! That's all we got here. Right. There we go, I can sprint again, huzzah. Because we're going to need at least 8 pieces of wool for it to spin, which you can change in the config, but I'm not going to. That's just your standard, is 8 pieces of wool for a windmill to spin. But yeah, so it's going to have to be 18... sorry, my brain is not operating today. This is my third video of the day. I'm trying to get as many done at once as I can, because otherwise this is going to take all month just to make 2 videos. But my brain is working really slowly, so I do apologise. I need to eat some lunch, but let's do this first. Yes, so we need 8 pieces of wool in order for this to spin. I think that's like the 4th time I've said that now, but you know. We're also going to need some storage, for fairly obvious reasons, I should hope. So the storage is going to go on there, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. So that will be our sort of final size, but for the time being I'm not going to be able to make that. Let's grab that and then chuck these fellas into smelt. Right, and we're going to need to gimme. Yeah, thank you. Let's do that, and we need to press all this. So chuck that down there. Wait for that to press. We should have enough andesite alloy. Should be alright on the casing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do it. I should clarify, andesite casings have no preference over pickaxe or axe for preferred tool. Either works just as well as the other. Can I get rid of this rain? It's really serious. While that's pressing, we're also going to need... there we go. We're going to need portable storage interfaces. We're going to need 2 of them, which means we need some chutes, which means we have more iron chutes. Great. Just what I've always wanted. Thankfully we have a single piece of iron left. And that gives us 4 apiece, so that's good. We need 2 of those. Let's get some harvesters. How many can we want? 3. Well, that's terrible, but there you go. Now, the problem that we're going to have here is we don't have any glue. Glue, as the name might suggest, sticks things together, which is necessary. Something like this. But we might, if I'm quite clever, be able to get away with it, because we can use a radial chassis, which we can indeed make. Thank God for that. The reason I don't want to have to faff about getting glue is, well, A, it's annoying, B, it needs slime balls, which I do not currently have access to. That's facing the wrong direction. Yes, so hopefully the chassis should do the job. But with this, as you can see, you have a portable storage interface facing another one, and then once this is made into a contraption, as this spins, it will connect, and then anything that's in here will get dumped into here. But obviously this isn't going anywhere currently, so we can't do anything with it. But let's get some radial chassis. If anybody calls it a chassis in the comments, I will bludgeon you. It is French, it is chassis. I'm not actually pressing the I love you all, but, you know, it's a chassis, not a chassis or a chassis. Oh, hello, I've been treed. Right. Oh god, I hate not being able to sprint, we're going to be here all month. How long? It's 8 blocks, isn't it? There we go. So that goes down there. Oh, do I need a wrench really to... I think I do. Let's see, let's just give it a crack and see if it works. Kapow! Damn you. Do I need a linear chassis? Let's get a wrench. Can I craft a wrench? I should be able to craft a wrench. I've got gold. I should talk about wrenches actually, because wrenches are basically the most important thing in the create mod. So if we go wrench, there we go. So wrench allows you, well, it allows you to rotate components, it allows you to essentially one-shot mine components. It's great for minecarts and trains. It is basically the most important thing that we will acquire. So pretty much as soon as you can get one, do get one, because it is incredibly important and incredibly useful. So I'm going to stick the blob down to bonk and have a kit with the sound of bonking in the background, which sounds like a euphemism, but honestly it isn't. What else do we need? We need a cogwheel and a stick. That's both easily acquired. Wonderful. One, and then and wrench. How wondrous. Right, so with a wrench, I believe, I shall show you its amazing functionality. So we can rotate things just by interacting. If you shift and interact, you can pick things up. Oh yeah, with create, if you just place something, it will place facing you. If you shift and place, it will place facing away from you. That's quite useful to know. Ah yes, but with this, we can now specify. But it still needs glue, doesn't it? Damn. I was hoping I could get away with not having to get glue. Okay, so I should explain why I'm trying to avoid glue. So, glue. Glue is fantastic. It basically allows you to stick things together, as one might expect from a name like glue. But that's our problem there, slime balls. Now, we can acquire slime balls from dough and lime dye, but that then requires me to get green dye, which requires me to get cactus, which requires me to go to faraway lands, basically, which I do have a nature's compass. I used it to help me get the kelp, so I could go, but I've done enough running around for one day. I want to do some create mods. So, we can get it from crushing flowers, or milling flowers, actually. Hang on, if I go, I think, yes, I have some of these. I have anyway, because dough you get from wheat flour, which you get from crushing wheat. So, ironically, we need wheat to make wheat. Let's get a hoe on the go, though, so that I can grow some wheat. I might end up just legging it over to that village and stealing a load of theirs, actually. Probably be easier, wouldn't it? Where's my wheat seeds? There they are. Right, let's just stick those down for the minute. And I'm going to very slowly leg it over to the village that's over there. I'm going to keep the chassis there just because it's there. Don't strictly need it, but it's going to stay for a minute. So, we get wheat, we need 2 pieces, wheat flour, I'm going to need a water bucket. Ooh, 5 wheat flour, my god, we got lucky on the rolls there, I only need 2. Now, I think I explained previously, the speed at which a fan is spinning does not affect the speed at which it does its thing. So in this case we've washed some wheat flour into dough. It only affects the distance at which it can affect. Oh great, I need iron as well, okay. Nugget and a sheet. Let's stick that into bonk then. Wonderful. That wasn't what I meant to do. I'll have that, do that, and Bob's your relative. Super glue. Now, glue is great. All we have to do, interact over here, and that is all now stuck together into one contraption, which we can then update this bearing by interacting with it, and it will spin me right round, baby, right round. Now, we do require that wondrous thing in Minecraft known as a circle. So let me just do that real quick. There we go. If you were to go underneath this thing, you could pull power from it, and I may well do that later in order to power the other systems that we're going to have in place here. Okay, for the minute, this is going to be manual, because I can't work out for the life of me how I'm going to make the thing work without it automatically filtering, but wondrously I have now managed to explain how rotating farms work, and you can use this on any variety of crop. I'm just going to grab some kip. You can use this on any variety of crop, not just wheat. If I just go on JEI, so we have used their harvesters, which harvest. You also have plows, which act as hoes. They're not really useful for farms, but they're useful for other things that we'll get to later. You have saws, do what they say on the tin. They chop down trees. They chop down the whole tree in one go, so you don't have to make like rows of them. You also have drills, do what they say on the tin. And deployers, which can be used to place items. Deployers you need for tree farms, because mechanical saws don't automatically place saplings once they've been harvested, whereas that's completely the wrong direction. This will automatically place or replant the crops once it's done. I'm just going to chuck these seeds in there because I don't need them. Yeah, I'm going to actually call it there for this video. I was hoping to do more, but we can't really do all that much until we've got brass, which I don't currently have. And there is a very deliberate reason that I'm not explaining what brass is, because that will be a video in and of itself. So, thank you very much for viewing this video. Ooh, I worked out that I can do that. Hi! Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. There we go, we've got empty hands now. Hi! I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the construction of our little gizmo doohickey over there. I apologise that it wasn't all that I promised, but it will do for the minute. It will keep us fed. I don't know what we're going to do in the next episode. Probably start working our way towards brass, because it's nigh on impossible to do anything without filtering, and I would very much like 2 deployers. If you can guess what those 2 deployers are for, why don't you stick that down in the comments. But thank you very much for your time. I hope you have a lovely day. I love you all. Stick around for the next video, like, subscribe, have a look at my podcast, and I shall bid you all adieu. Bye!